Hello and welcome to another Modswell video. I'm your host Maxwell. After releasing my Gothic order on Monday, I am already on to the next setup. This is going to be my dragon based order, built by myself and the Discord community over on my server. There is a link to that in the description if you want to be part of the build or just talk Skyrim. For now though, I'm back on track doing top mods weekly. With that being said, let's check out what new toys we have available to us. First up is a mod that has been uploaded several times, but it is a really fun, creepy little mod. Mihail's Gods of the Old Hunt. This mod adds in a totally new enemy known as Leshens, or Gods of the Old Hunt. They're found in Falkreath roaming around the forest, so be very careful if you find yourself in the middle of the trees. These Leshens are to be seen as respawning mini-bosses added to the game that shouldn't be taken lightly. In fact, I have already died whilst testing them quite a few times. I advise tackling these when you're at least level 30, I just happen to be suffering from a new character for a brand new dragon based build. These beasts are what remain of the Wild Hunt, left free to roam Tamriel, seen as gods by the Bosmer and Forsworn alike. In fact, the author states that seeing one of these drove the men of the Reach wild and crazy, which is what started the Forsworn. It's safe to say that you can call these somewhat lore-friendly should you use a little bit of your imagination. Weirdly, I've been looking at them as if they were the male version of a Spriggan. Less magical, slower, but brutal. Now, I know what you're going to say. There are already male Spriggans called Lurchers, and whilst yes, that is right, I see these as being a better alternative to those golems, but that is just me. For those of you out there that like a challenge, those who like exploring the wilds, or just love a good scrap, then this mod is really for you. It would suit orders with wild forests and mods like Bigger Trees or Project Hippie, Origin Forests, or really any expansion or evolution to the wooded areas. I also think that players speccing in as a Bosmer could really enjoy this mod, and it could have made a fun addition to my previous order too. It will set you back 36.9 megabytes, but that is the price that we pay to keep this 10-year-old game fresh. Good hunting. Moving on. In fourth, we have another re-release, this time the fantastic weather mod Kynes, but finally in a brilliant all-in-one package with extra touches. Kynes, for those unaware, is a 3-mod combo that creates one of the nicest and most varied setups. It's built using Obsidian weathers for its seasons, Wonder weathers for its massive variety of weathers, and finally Kynes acting as a patch for these weather mods, but also adding in a bunch of textures from Cathedral weathers to bring the mod up to a very high standard. But here's why I decided to include the mod. This is not only a 3-in-1 mod, in fact, it's actually a 6-in-1 mod. Substill decided more could be done to really improve upon these weathers. So now, on top of the regular 3, we also get Night Sky HD, Minty's Lightning During Storms, and God Rays. These were 3 of the only spots the original set missed out on. I know a lot of people were disappointed by the nights in the original files, and Night Sky HD has completely rectified this oversight. Minty's Lightning is definitely something of a fan favourite to really bring out the drama in a storm and of course make it look more realistic. Finally, we get God Rays, just to turn those sunrises up to 11. With all the variants in sunrises, from colours to style, this addition will really make those pop. Naturally, all of these additions and the combination of the mods has raised its cost a bit. In fact, it will now set you back 90.7 megabytes. But considering this is easily one of the best looking weathers, with more variants than you've ever seen in a weather system, it's definitely worth it. If you're building a dramatic order, or you love scenes worth taking screenshots, then this is going to be a top pick for you. Last time I spoke about Kynes, I said it was easily one of my top 3 weathers, and now it's even better and easier to use. Let's move on to third place. For this spot I have chosen Misc dialogue edits and more dialogue options. This is a singular mod, just a very long name. This mod, as I'm sure you've guessed, sets out to change and improve the standard interactions you come across in game. Scenarios like vendors making the same assumptions whenever you talk to them. No Farengar, I am not trying to become a mage, I just want you to buy my trash. Now the vendors are somewhat aware of what your actual skills are, so if you're an out and out warrior, you just won't be hearing lines like that. You'll also hear the common NPCs talking about the situations that are actually playing themselves out. Rumours of dragons, the war, whatever is actually happening in your world. Lots of extra variety has been unlocked here, and it's helped me to actually want to talk to the people and have them feel less robotic. The more dialogue options helps with the actual in-game triggered events too, such as speaking to someone like Maul. On the first interaction with him, he pops around from thought to thought, almost giving you whiplash with how fast his emotional state changes. This makes literally no sense from an immersion point of view. It isn't just him affected either, so I will definitely say check for compatibility. I'm currently using this alongside Faction Warfare as a cheap version of Reputation, but weirdly it feels more complete and actually does a better job of showing an evolving world. Sure, everything is still dictated by your actions, but at least with this mod, it feels like the NPCs are actually in the same world, living the same events. Beyond this, we have cut lines restored to NPCs across the board, with their own voice lines and actors, so it really fits into the game without pushing those boundaries too far away from what is friendly. In the same vein, this mod also fixes a few issues with the vanilla game to help add depth to characters by increasing that frequency of rarely used lines. Alongside this, fixes to silly, classic Bethesda mistakes such as typos in the subtitles and the basic flow of conversations. So this is a pretty huge set of changes that will make your game feel really great. You'd be expecting a huge cost, but once again, due to modder ingenuity, this is only going to cost you 3.3 megabytes. Exactly the same as I said last week about cube maps. This mod should just be in your order at all times doing its thing. It's also great to see a return from Skyrim Leona to the modding scene, so I'm going to leave a link to her page so you can all go and check out the fantastic offerings she's given us. Moving on to second. Here I've put a pretty excellent new combo mod known as the Natural Forces Bundle. Whilst this mod comes in 3 variants, I'm going to focus on the alt version as that's what you're seeing on the screen. The Natural Forces Bundle is a compilation of mods that get the best out of the elements fire, water, ice and electricity, but I'll dig a little deeper into that. When it comes to fire, there are across the board changes that even improve the lighting as a whole. Here we get Inferno Fire Effects Light, which edits not only what the fire looks like, but also how it operates. It happens to be a mainstay on my orders with things like ELE or RLO to create a cheap alternative to ELFX. Inferno keeps objects on fire for a little bit longer and is one of the more realistic setups, so to see this in a bundle was a real treat. On top of this, we also get better embers to make fireplaces and forges more immersive, as well as an edit to regular flame size settings. That as a fire bundle alone would have been enough. But there's more, so let's move on to water. To improve upon it, we get cathedral waters for the texture. Again, this is something that I use in many of my orders as it fixes a bunch of the problems with vanilla water, such as the water's edge seam, as well as just looking really nice and calm. To top this off, the author also included effects such as spray, ripples, steam, drops and mist. Pretty much everything required to make realistic looking water across the map. I know this section could split opinions, but don't worry fans of realistic water too. Simply use the dry version of this mod as it doesn't include any of the textures, only the effects. I'll move on to the ice section, where it's a lot less involved, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Here we get Arctic thrown in. This is a texture and effects mod that essentially makes all of the ice spells and effects look far more 3D and genuine. Similarly to the ice, the electric part of this combo only uses one mod too, Electrify. This is a mod that I actually hadn't experienced before, but so far I'm really enjoying how it looks and performs. It arcs across the enemy with sparks breaking off throughout. This is actually where the alt version differs from the main file. This uses a slightly edited version of Electrify. I found with the other files, the electric effects were too thin and weedy, but this is just my preference and you may well feel different, so definitely check those out too. However, we are in danger of this selection taking up a lot of time. Suffice to say that I would have taken this in many forms. The fire setup alone, the water, the access to the mod Electrify in this state. The fact that it comes as a combo makes it a no-brainer and easily a mod that I will be using on repeat. It will set you back 79.1 megabytes for the alt version, but it is so massively worthwhile. It is essentially room that you'd have been using anyway, but now you get it in a way that saves you on mod slots. And now it is time for my favourite mod of the week, and it will come as no surprise that it's the latest Tonal mod, Tonal Architect. This mod, simply put, adds in new Dwemer themed spells to the game. There are 15 spells for 3 different schools of magic: Destruction, Conjuration and Alteration. To gain access to these spells, simply head over to a forge and create them out of the useless scrap that you found in Dwemer Ruins, which now I guess isn't so useless. However, there is a catch to help hold your power back a bit. You'll only be able to build the spells dependent on your level in the respective schools of magic, with Novice available from the start, then unlocking the subsequent spells at levels 25, 50, 75 and 100. Master spells will also require you to have completed the Dwarven Research quest. Every spell is built around tactical play more than out and out destruction, with abilities like Scald, which will deal 10 points of fire damage a second with the added benefit of increasing your automaton's speed in combat for 10 seconds. Crank Mine, which reduces the armor of all nearby targets by 25 points and is able to stack in order to truly debilitate your foes. These pair really nicely with the new summons, which are of course in the form of Dwemer automatons. The general idea of the build is to summon a machine, then use your spells to boost it whilst depleting your enemy's stats, and let's face it, look cool whilst doing it. For those of you who have played with Triumvirate, you will be used to the quality that NI puts into the spells. Creating custom animations alongside these new effects, this allows us to experience the game in a totally new way. Last week I talked about 2 mods that would pair fantastically with this. Whispers, shout alternatives would allow you to really spec into the Dwemer ideal and make even more use of the old scrap. And of course Faction Warfare, which would allow you to help the Dwemer defeat the Falmer, with the handy side benefit of also slowly making yourself friendly towards the naturally spawning automatons, still left in those ruins. But back to the mod in question. Tonal Architect is going to set you back a shockingly small 11.5 megabytes, 45 new custom spells complete with new animations, graphics and effects, new custom asset staffs complete with leveling, spell upgrades to hunt down for even more power such as Supercharger, which will add to your mind spells, simply allowing them to inversely boost you at the same rate they're degrading the enemies. There is really so much going on here, so much to look forward to. This mod is going to open up so many possibilities with Dwemer style orders, or even just people looking for a fun new way to play their game, giving a whole new reason for exploring these ruins and collecting scrap. But on that, I am going to call it. Myself and the community over on Discord are currently building a dragon based order. If that's something that you'd be interested in, check the description to find a link to that server. You'll also find links to the mod showcased in this video. If this has helped, I would as always really appreciate those likes, comments and of course subscriptions. They help push my work out there and let me know that you want to see more content like this. Either way, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.